Ba,
Ba-da-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
ba-da-la-ba-ba.
Ba-da-ba. All right. So, all right, we are back with another 10-minute eye test Wednesday. Carmelo, how you doing?
Doing all right, trying to survive the heat. It's hot out, but that's why we're making some sweet YouTube videos. It's a good day to make content.
Yeah, I know you're in Europe right now, and there's a heat wave happening. I'm in Southeast Asia. There's also a heat wave happening. I think the whole world's experiencing a heat wave. So I wonder what the North Pole looks like. But we are going to go ahead and dive into another project today. And this one I'm really excited about personally because of my little moniker up here, Crypto Data Wiz. This is a data-centric project, and I didn't know, neither of us knew, that they were launching a token until just now. So I guess we're cheating a little bit because we already selected a project. We know about this project or platform, but I think it's going to be cool to dive into the token use cases here. We're talking about Arkham Intelligence, the really, really cool on-chain data analytics platform. Before we dive in, I guess let's make a little bit of a guess. Carmelo, what do you think this token use case is going to look like? You're familiar with the platform, yeah?
Yeah, I haven't used it a whole lot compared to some of the other data platforms, but like you said, we are familiar with Arkham, but we're not at all familiar with the fact that they're creating a token or what that token might do. So I guess that's where the predictions come in. I'm going to guess that the token use case is maybe sourcing data from people, so like contributors to the data network, or bringing in new innovative ways to use it, or maybe on an even deeper level, allowing people to build third-party apps on top of their platform leveraging their data and their information. So that would be what I would like to see as a potential investor personally, but maybe there's something I'm missing or something much better.
I think that's a great call. And from a token economy perspective or token use case perspective, that makes complete sense, right? These decentralized digital assets, they work the best when you use them for a crowdsourced method of incentivizing labor or cooperation. And so asking users or incentivizing users to do stuff with your data, uncover cool things, or offer really cool data sets, that's a great way to do this. I guess I'll reserve my judgment for now, but what I definitely don't want to see is just some access model or payment barrier. That would be really boring, especially coming from these guys that have developed something so cool already.
Yeah, that would just scream like we need money and we invented this token to get more money to develop, which I don't think they need. They're probably not hurting for money, and they have more than enough interest from industry leaders. So I don't think that's what we're going to see, but I would be shocked and disappointed, frankly, like you.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's go ahead and dive in. That's our cue. And I will start the clock now because you and I already have a little bit of a head start. We know what they're doing already. I think we have a sense of even explaining it to some of our viewers as well. So without further ado, I will share the screen and start the clock now. Boom. Okay, so we're on CryptoRank, and so we're seeing some basic information here. I'll get rid of this banner, and we see that Arkham Intelligence has an IEO coming up in about a week. And right off the bat, I'm seeing some interesting stuff. So about Arkham, it says it's a platform for de-anonymizing the blockchain. That's a kind of hard line to draw because I always thought of it as an on-chain analytics platform, but it sounds like they're trying to position themselves as a team that is hell-bent on creating transparency around on-chain data at all costs. And I know that's going to upset a lot of maybe institutional financial backers or banks or whatever you have.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing for me to see. Like, that's one of the biggest use cases for this are people to handle their own finances in a decentralized and private way. And Arkham just basically declared war on privacy. So it's already a tough sell for me personally, just from like an ethos standpoint. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and see what else they're working on. But I see that they got Binance is doing an IEO, which is obviously nothing. That's pretty impressive. So you don't see that typically. So
Yeah.
they definitely got backing by Coinbase Ventures. They got backing by Binance. That can only bode well for them, I assume.
Yeah, message to all founders. If you build a really cool and successful platform and then launch a token, maybe that's the way to get listed for all those Moonboy degens. But check this out real quick. Coinbase Ventures is an investor along with Peter Thiel, Sam Altman, one of the founders of OpenAI and ChatGPT, and Tim Draper. So they're serious here, and that makes sense because ARKM is definitely one of the leading industry on-chain analytics platforms. And we're going to dive in the site in a second. You'll see how cool it is if you haven't seen it yet. But it looks like a $2.5 million IEO on Binance for 50 million tokens, 100% at TGE. I'm not sure how accurate this information is, but that's a pretty big public raise. I'd like to see a little bit more information on what that means. And $50 million fully diluted market cap. This also caught my eye. The company has closed $12 million in funding. I'm assuming that is. I don't think any of these investors here would be buying only the token. I'm quite confident they're also getting equity. So maybe they've got exposure on the token side with a warrant or something.
Yeah, and they might be including equity raises like years ago, because the platform has obviously been a while. It's been around for a while, so they had to have raised money in other rounds early on. So maybe these big fish are early investors, and they're not investing so much in this latest round or this token, but maybe that's what they're mentioning.
Yeah, 100%. It's been around for a while. And so let's go ahead and dive into the website. I'm not sure what we'll find here, because here we go. So for those of you unfamiliar with ARKM, you actually have to apply to use the platform, the beta. You have to give them a little bit of information behind what you're going to do with it. There's not a lot here on this landing page that you can do besides go to other links, but you can see right now, like, this is a really cool platform. It's very, very comprehensive. You can do a lot with it when it comes to on-chain analytics. And so what I'm trying to figure out is, like, I don't see anything around the token besides white paper. Should we dive into the white paper?
Yeah, I mean, we got to find out what this token does eventually, right?
All right, boom, let's do it.
In the meantime, I do have to say, it's a strange choice to name this ARKM and then say you want to de-anonymize blockchain. And then in this little graphic, they say Bruce Wayne. Like, why are you trying to figure out who Batman is? You're not the good guy here. You're the villain. You're painting yourself as a bad guy. I don't understand that.
Do you think they thought of that? I'm not sure if they did, because I didn't think of that. And that makes perfect sense. Like, why would you want to dox Batman?
And you're naming yourself after the insane asylum in the Batman universe. Like, it's a weird branding, but I don't know. It's a funny thought.
I really liked it before. You just ruined this branding for me. You ruined my day.
I thought it was a coincidence, but they really leaned into the Batman thing in that video right there. They typed in Bruce Wayne, so I was like, all right, this is very strange.
Oh, man. I hope no one else realizes that. Okay, and so this is it looks right off the bat like a technical white paper. And so this is something that you'd see from more of like a technical document, an explainer of how a protocol or platform might work. But based on what we're seeing here right now, it looks quite general. And so my goal, and Carmelo, I'm sure your goal, is to figure out what does the token do here. So maybe we can quickly scan through this. And here's just like an overview of what their goals are, right? Access to crypto data is decentralized, crypto intelligence widely adopted, and then being a part of the global financial system. These are all very awesome high-level things, and we don't have to dive into a lot of this because we know what the platform does. You can scan through on-chain data, it visualizes it for you, It allows you to quickly uncover connections through wallets and protocols, etc. It really is a fantastic platform. But here we go already. Intel to earn. Hmm.
Earn.
Yeah, and so it looks like they've got their ARKM cryptocurrency, and it allows anyone to trade their native currency um, by creating a market for intelligence. So that's interesting. They've got an exchange.
Yeah, if you check out this graphic, they have bounty hunters and intel providers and intel collectors. So they are building an economy, which is nice to see, of like different types of contributions can be made. And I guess it's a little bit more nuanced than your typical earn economy, which is good. But I'm still unsure. Like I'm getting really bad vibes from this. Like I agreed with all the tenets they had in the first part, except for the first one, that de-anonymization is destiny. It's a little bit weird, and I really feel like they're building this program where you can be a bounty hunter and you can just narc on people and earn coins for doxing people's wallets. And I don't really like the direction this is going in.
I didn't think of that at all. They're creating a community of narcs, but I mean,
Narc to earn.
maybe narc to earn. So, this is interesting because we've seen like we're just continuing to see extremes in the cryptocurrency industry, right? On one side, we've got like a massive ecosystem of scammers like Ben.eth and all these people that launched like shit coins, and they raised money against them and they promised nothing and they delivered nothing. And the other side here, it's like, let's create everyone, or let's turn everyone into narcs and try and like uncover things within the blockchain. I will say, from a data analytics perspective, like for all of the different data analytics platforms out there that have launched tokens, I haven't really seen this yet. And this is a fantastic way to include your community in trying crowdsourcing content or crowdsourcing labor, because I know there's been a few founders we've spoken to that have data platforms like this, and one of the things they spend a lot of time on is themselves going through on-chain data, trying to uncover things, trying to discover connections, trying to follow up on scams so that they can provide that information to their communities or to the greater crypto community in showing like, hey, this is what we were able to do with our platform. It's really useful. But what they're doing here is incentivizing a community to do that. And so it's kind of like create to earn, or like content creation to earn, which I think is cool. I just wonder, like, how is this going to tie in with maybe regulation, or like how is it going to, like, are they creating a community of Zach XBTs or what? That could be pretty messy.
So, well, actually, if you read right there, it says they already have a community that's actively working on this and they get nothing for their work. So one thing I do like is this is like need based. This came out of a position of need. They needed to figure out a system to compensate people to keep doing the good work they're doing, which I can appreciate. What I don't understand is why it has to be in the Arkham token. Why not create bounty pools of stable coins? Something safer, less volatile, something that everybody has and transacts in. So like that's my first question here. Like I like that they want to incentivize people that are doing good work to expose bad actors in the space, but I'm not sure why the bounties have to be placed in Arkham coin.
That's a really good point. I didn't think of that, but it makes complete sense. I was kind of just distracted by the shock and awe of Arkham launching a token and crowdsourcing stuff. Unfortunately, our 10 minutes are up. That's a painful alarm. And so I guess we let's go ahead and stop here, and let's go ahead and make a bit of a judgment call. So based on what we've seen, I think there's a lot of questions. I think there's a lot of cool ideas, and I think there's some concerns. So, Carmelo, you just mentioned one around that digital asset being the incentive there. What's your take on this?
Yeah, I'll start with the obvious part. Like, this is obviously, before we even dove into it, interesting enough to warrant like a lot more research. I would dive pretty deeply into this because, one, you and I both love data, so it's just frankly interesting, and it's one of the first Intel platforms we've seen launching a token. Like, I don't think Masari is planning to do the same. or other data providers. So it's interesting. I wonder who they're going to partner with, like Oracle wise, or if they're going to create APIs and monetize this as well. But we obviously haven't learned almost anything about the token except for it's a method of incentivizing their community that already exists to keep doing good work, to keep researching. So on that, I appreciate it, but I don't think it's a strong enough use case for this token to exist. So there must be something we're missing, and if not, it's not a very good idea for a token. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because I think there's far smarter people working on this, arranging all these things, but maybe I'm wrong about that too. But I would assume that they have other token utilities in mind, and I hope it's not the barrier, the access barrier, like you said, a staking model, because that doesn't make them any money. And I can't imagine that Tim Draper or Sam Altman or Binance or Coinbase are interested in a token that doesn't do anything. So there has to be something more we're missing. So I would say, yeah, I would take a deeper look at it. Honestly, I'm pretty sure just based off the fact that it's launching on Binance alone, that it's going to do well. This token is going to be around for a while. It's going to be a big token. But it's sad to say that I don't think I would invest in it just based off what I've seen, the verbiage they're using around crushing privacy. It's one of the major use cases for blockchain, as is transparency. So like you said, you have to walk this fine line between transparency and privacy. And I think there needs to be a bit of both. There needs to be some accountability for people that screw people over, but you also need to let regular people transact financially with anonymity. You can't have people meddling or canceling you for transactions that you send. I don't like the way that they're going and the kind of lingo they're using. So I don't think I could, in good conscience, invest in this, despite knowing that it will do quite well.
I think that's a really good take. I think you made some fantastic points, and it really, just like hearing your take, kind of changed mine a little bit. I agree with you in saying that, like, I definitely want to dive much deeper into this. I like Arkham's platform a lot. I like what they've done so far. But the token, you're right. To me, it doesn't make sense based on what we've seen. I definitely want to read more and understand like what really is driving that value, because I haven't seen any value drivers so far. It's a rewards mechanism, and maybe they're crowdsourcing, their community of sleuths to perform on-chain analytics and uncover some things, but it's a rewards mechanism for incentivizing that. So right now it seems inherently inflationary. And as an investor, that's not something I want to back. Even with on the equity front with a token warrant, that token is just going to continue to inflate and devalue itself. So unless they are bringing some value back to that token, like let's say they are recruiting their community of sleuths to perform investigation, that's going to fill different bounties or potentially even bring in some money from, like working with regulatory agencies or private companies in doing investigation, and then that value somehow goes back to the token. That's one thing. I doubt that's the case. I don't think any of these VCs would invest in something like that, considering there's a lot of regulatory gray area around it. But there's got to be something going on there. At the same time, when it comes to on-chain analytics, Carmelo, you and I do this all the time, and it can be very confusing. And there's a lot of unknown factors when it comes to wallets and wallet ownership and user provided information. There are no guarantees. Although the data, the numbers are there, there's no guarantees, and it can get messy. And so this could potentially turn into a PR disaster if there was a story that was half-baked that spiraled out of control from a community that would be performing investigation from Arkham Intelligence's data. So that can be messy. It can be really cool. As far as the investment in the token goes, I'm not sold yet, but I definitely want to dive in deeper and see what the hell they plan on doing with that token outside of just rewards.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's what sets us apart too. Like we vote not just with our pockets, but with our ethos. We want to support stuff we actually think is beneficial to the space. But you and I both love data. We recognize there's a clear need for this. You can never have too much data, and you can never organize it well enough. So I think Arkham's doing great stuff already. All these data platforms they're providing a huge need for everybody that uses blockchain already, and it's only going to get more important as it gets more complicated as time goes on. So I can appreciate that, but like you said, I think you put it pretty succinctly that the token, we have no idea what it does. we are not sure that it's going to be driven by value. So I think it's safe to say no for now, but I'm personally going to look much deeper into this just out of curiosity because I'm interested to see how this goes, see if we're right.
Yeah. Well, there you have it, Arkham Intelligence. You get a big no. Just kidding. It's a maybe no, and then we want to learn more because yeah, we like you guys. You guys are doing a good job.
It's more
Don't
of
mess
a
this up.
it's not you, it's me sort of situation. Gotta let him down easy.
That's totally the situation. Well, with that being said, that's another 10-minute eye test in the books, and this is a good one. I'm really curious to see how this does. So, as always, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and do all of the things as usual. And again, be sure to let us know if you see a cool project coming up that you want us to dive into. Maybe you're curious about making that investment, or you just want us to kind of just poop all over something funny or stupid. We're open to everything, so let us know. And again, this is Sasha and Carmelo, ARKM Ventures. Take it easy, y'all.
Bye.